Hello, Emma. How for you now? Good evening, Susan, and thanks for watching. So today I'll be talking about the issue of being judgmental amongst us as human beings. So I would just like to wait for a couple of more people to join us so we can start. And once again, thank you so much for your patience. Hey, bro. How you know? So today I will be talking about the issue of being judgmental amongst us as human beings and some of the negative consequences that we face. Hopefully I will be able to provide some. Hi sis. Thanks for watching. Oh, thank you so much. So today is gonna be about the issue of being judgmental amongst us as human beings, and some of the. I'm good, bro. I did fine. I did fine. How is the new baby? All right. Thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate. I'm just waiting for a few more before we can start. But today is gonna be about the issue of being judgmental amongst us as human beings. I will be talking about some of the, negative consequences that we face that sometimes we don't even realize the effect it's having on us. And then hopefully I will be suggesting some tips that we could use, to change our mindset. Hopefully that we can apply to be able to avoid being judgmental. Hopefully we can, better ourselves, better our lives, and the people around us. So please just be patient and just waiting for a few more people so we can start. I will also be sharing a very short story in the end, just for anyone who is interested. Nothing special, it's just something personal, my own experience about being judgmental and everything that came with it. So I hope you stay to the end so you can listen to what I have to say. Sister Patty, how for you now? I just love this song so much, so I'm probably gonna be listening to it over and over. Unless you have a suggestion, I can change it, but I'm sure you like it, so it's just, you know, some kind of motivation to me. So it's about 4:07. Let's say by 4:15 I should start. I just don't want to keep you guys waiting for a long time. Thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate your time. I appreciate all your support, all the positive feedbacks, all the comments. They mean so much to me. Thank you guys sincerely from my heart. I appreciate. Hello, Shan. Good evening, Bombo. How you know? So today, again, I will be talking about the issue of being judgmental amongst us as human beings and the negative effect that it continues to have on us that we do not even realize. Also, I will be sharing some tips that could help us to, you know, to change our mindset, to be able to view each other with love, with kindness, and hopefully that would help to solve a lot of problems that we face, especially when we always, you know, judge each other like for no reasons. So I hope you guys find something helpful in what I have to say, and I appreciate, you know, whatever additions that you have, your comments. Thank you once again. I think I will be starting just because I don't want to keep you guys waiting for so long. I really appreciate your effort for being here with me. It means so much to me. So like I said, we're going to be talking about the issue of, you know, being judgmental. Before I really start, I just want to ask a question. Like, in a 24-hour period, I'm talking about in a day, how often do we judge people? How often do we judge someone by the way they dress, by the way they talk, by the way they walk or speak, or even by the way they look at us? Or better still, how often do we get judged by people for the same reasons? We as human beings, we are not perfect. We are not perfect, and I believe that if not all of us, most of us have been victims of being judged, and most of the time being judged wrongly. And on the most part, I would say most of us, or if not all of us, are guilty of judging. We tend to judge each other every single day, every second, every minute. And this is affecting us, but we do not realize. This is limiting us. When we judge people, we limit ourselves. We slow ourselves down. There's so much consequences when we tend to judge people. We always talk about first impression. We always talk about first impression, especially when we're talking about someone that we meeting for the first time, or a situation that, something that's happening to us in the first time. We always talk about that first impression. And a lot of times we draw conclusions based on that first impression. A lot of times we judge each other based on that first impression. Sometimes we are correct, but I would say a lot of times we are wrong. We are wrong when we judge people based on our first impression. And how do we ever know that we were wrong? Sometimes it stays like that, and we stay with that impression forever. How many times do we see people on the street? Maybe you see someone walking on the street, maybe limping, or maybe walking in a way that we all think they shouldn't be walking that way, and we make fun of them. Sometimes we call them names. Sometimes, we think they are just being proud, and that's why they walk the way they do. Or how many times have we seen someone on the street, maybe they're wearing a helmet on their head, and we all know what helmets are for. But how often do we see people on the street when they walk with a helmet on, and we make fun of them, and we think maybe they are crazy, and we think maybe there's something wrong with them. But we don't know why. We don't know why that person walks the way they walk. We don't know why that person, wore what they wore. We don't know why that person speak the way they speak. We have no idea of why people are the way people present the things that they present to us, and those are things on the face value that we don't know, that we just see. I'll tell you something, and I'm sure we all know. We all have our challenges. We all face our challenges on a daily basis. We all have battles that we fight on a daily basis. We all have pain that we suffer from, that we go through every single day of our lives. We go through pain that no one knows. We go through so much that no one knows. They could be emotional, they could be physical, they could be psychological, they could be spiritual, they could be financial, they could be anything. What do we know? We only know what we know. They could be anything. When we judge based on what we see. We don't judge based on what we know. We judge based on what we see. And that's why I'm doing this video, that hopefully at the end of the video, we will try to think a little differently. If we realize the fact that we as humans, we all face our own challenges. If we realize this fact, we will start to learn and to understand that we all have a story. Everyone has a story. Everyone has a story that is deeper than what we see and is deeper than what we criticize. Some people have stories that are deeper than the deepest water we could ever imagine. We all have that story. And sometimes it only takes for someone to ask you, how are you today? To know something about you. But when we continue to judge people based on what we see, we are wrong. We are so wrong that we are hurting ourselves. We are hurting those people, and we are hurting every single person around us. When we judge people, I don't think there's any good thing that comes out of it. Nothing good comes out when we judge people. By the way, who are we to judge people? We are in no position to judge anybody. When we judge people, all we do is to create an environment of negative energy. We create an environment of violence, competition, hatred, resistance. Sometimes we just dislike people for no reason, just because maybe, for just no reason. Just because we had an impression about them the first time we saw them. And mind you, a lot of times, these people, we don't even know them. A lot of times, we're meeting these people for the first time, but yet we're judging them. How much do you know about this person? You know, when you judge somebody, you put in that person in a group. It's like, this person, you see somebody for the first time, you don't know what they're going through at that moment. Maybe that person did not even see you to say good morning or to say hi. And all of a sudden, that person is too proud, that person is too full of themselves, that person is this, that person is that, but you have no idea what that person is dealing with. And how would you know? And we all know, when you create that environment, there's nothing that anyone will say that would convince you. Why? I don't know. Because we are quick to judge people when we don't know anything about them. When we judge people, like I said before, we create separation amongst each other. And you know how we human beings are. We feed off each other. We influence each other. Someone hates you not because of anything, but just because the friend said, oh, that person is like that, and boom, you hate that person. It creates so much division amongst us. It creates jealousy. It creates a lot of competition. You know, that kind of competition, and especially amongst women. I don't know if anyone can argue, but it happens. It's very common amongst women. We fight ourselves. We're fighting someone. That person doesn't even know us. That person doesn't even know we exist. But we're fighting just because we've judged that person and we think that person is the way we perceive them to be. And when we do all of this, that separation, that distance that we create amongst each other, there's no ground to learn. We can't learn. We have no means to learn. It slows us down. It limits us a lot. It slows us from reaching where we're trying to reach. Because sometimes we've shut the doors. We shut the doors because we thought we can't deal with those people. And those are the people that we need to do the things that we need to do. But because we think they are so full of themselves, we think they are rude, we think they are proud, and this is all what we think, and we judge them, but we don't know them. And this is what is going on. I just want to be able to share some positive tips that I think would help us, to change our mindset. Because this negative mindset, it's poisonous. It's killing us. It's destroying us. It's limiting us. It's just too much. We need to figure out ways. We need to figure out ways. Hi, Carmen. Carol. Bonsoir. We need to start. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, we need to start by trying to change our mindset. We can't live with a negative mindset, because a negative mindset, all it breeds, it's negativity. It doesn't see any good. It doesn't see any positive things. Any positive things that comes to a negative mindset, it translates it to something negative, and it ends there. We need to work on that. We need to try to be non-judgmental. We need to try to figure out other ways on how to better ourselves, on how to better our environment, on how to grow, on how to stay positive, on how to reach our goals. The first thing, thank you so much, with the hair, right? The first thing I would like to share with you guys, again, it's simple. Let's just try to work on our mindset. Let's try to switch our mindset. Let's try to look at the positive aspects in life. Let's try to avoid judging people. Before we judge someone, let's ask ourselves questions. Let's think twice. Let's try to have some kind of control with our mind. Let's control our mind, because we have the power to do that. Let's try to control our mindset. And I think that would be so helpful. Hello, beautiful Chris. I don't know why the camera is a little blurry. So if we try to continue to maintain a positive mindset, we will try to think twice before we pass judgment on people, before we judge people that we don't even know. Another thing I would like to say, let's learn how to communicate. Instead of us being judgmental? How about we be curious? How about we become curious? Try to learn, to know more about, what we see. That's a guy, I think his name is Whitman Walt. I don't know if he's just someone who talks about inspiration or someone who talks about motivation. He wrote a quote. All it said was, be curious, not judgmental. Be curious, not judgmental. Let's try to open up. Let's try to learn more about somebody. Let's try to find out why this person is doing what they're doing, instead of jumping and judging them. Like I said before, we don't know what anyone is going through. We don't know what people are dealing with, the battles that they are fighting, the pain that they are going through. We don't know their situation. So instead of us jumping and passing judgment, instead of us jumping and judging them, how about we try to ask questions, get closer to people, get to know people, try to understand them. Like I said, we are all equal. We are all worthy. We can learn from each other. There's always something that we can learn from each other. We can learn from somebody's story. We could get inspired by somebody's story. We can get motivated by somebody's story. But if we continue to judge, of what good, of what benefit is that to us? I know we all know the saying that not all that glitters is gold. We hear that all the time. But I always ask myself, what happens to the golden heart? What happened to the golden heart that has been painted black and has no opportunity to shine? I'm talking about when you pass judgment on someone that you don't know, and you condemn that person that you don't know. You know nothing about that person. What happens? That golden heart, because you don't even know, because we believe in what we see, right? It's not all about what we see. If we try to develop that positive mindset, we will come to understand that there's more than what we see. Sometimes what we see are like residues from people's story, from what people have been through. That's all we see and that's all we know. We shouldn't judge a book by the cover. We should learn to ask questions. We should be empathetic. We should try to put ourselves in a situation to understand and offer how we can help, if we could, the best we could. I think by doing that, we will be open to learn. People will be open to learn. And I think life will be better. Life will be happier overall if we could inspire each other. If we could inspire each other. If we could identify the strength in one another, if we could identify the potential in one another, if we could help bring them out. But we can't do all of that if we continue to judge people. People we don't even know. Most of the time it's people that we don't even know, because the people that we know, sometimes, you know, it becomes like a habit, like we don't really realize. We just say they do that all the time, but sometimes we don't understand why they do that all the time. Again, communication. Sometimes it's just, you know, to ask that question. Someone might open up. You might be of help. They might be of help. Another thing, we should learn to accept people. We should learn to accept people. We should learn to love people just the way they are. We should accept people just the way they are. We should love people. We should love people, like love one another as a whole, and not because of this or because of that. Let's try not to change people, because sometimes it doesn't go the right way. Love someone the way they are. If you could be a positive influence in their lives, it's always good. Let's do the best we can. Let's avoid judging people. I am guilty. You are guilty. We are all guilty. No one is perfect. Like I said in the beginning, I would like to share a very short story about myself. Hi, Kristen. It's an experience that I had, so it's like a, you know, it's life. It's not like a made-up story. It's what happened to me. You know, talking about being judgmental or judging people the wrong way. I'm just gonna make it real brief because, you know, I don't want to keep you guys all day. So this story involves three girls, 3 friends. It's me and 2 other friends, and I'm not gonna mention names. I'm just gonna go by A, which is me. I'm gonna go by B, which is gonna be the middle person who is like the middleman, and the third person, who is C. That's gonna be my friend. So when I talk about A, I'm just gonna refer to myself. And when I talk about B, it's gonna be the middle person, and C is gonna be my friend. So this happened like over 10 years ago. My best friend today, I met her through my best friend, who is C. I met her through B. So B, like I said, was the middle person. So B used to work with C, and I knew B from back home, and, you know, we met here, and then we continued. Hi, Tony. What happened was, for the very first time C met me, she judged me. She passed the judgment on me because of the fact that she thought I was very, very rude to her. She thought I snubbed her. She thought I ignored her. She thought she asked me for a ride and I just brushed it off and walked away. Were any of those true? No. So she went home with that impression about me, and she lived with that She lived with that for almost a year. I had no idea. My friend in the middle knew everything, but she never told me. But she always tried to talk to C about the fact that that's not who I am. She tried to tell her, you're getting it all wrong. That's not the type of person A is. But that went on for about a year, and it happened that my friend in the middle was getting married, and it was supposed to be me and C to put things together, and we were supposed to work together. And she said that would not happen, and she resisted, and again, I had no idea of what was going on. Long story short, we spent about 5 hours together for the very first time, because we had to be together, running errands and doing the things that we needed to do. And that's when she noticed something about me which I don't know. Maybe all the impressions that she had, well, she realized that she was wrong. I don't know, but the time that we spent together, the opportunity that we had to spend together, she saw something different. And she confessed about it. She talked about it. And I was just so, shocked. I was so surprised how people could be judged wrongly. People could be judged based on just nothing, just anything. But I'm glad that, we had that opportunity to interact more, to spend more time together, and for her to know me, like, to overcome that hatred, to overcome that anger and everything that she had, to overcome it and to see who I truly was. And when she said all of that, that was just, I was shocked. Like I said, I was really, really surprised, because it's funny how, like I said, what kind of impression people could have. Wrong impression. And long story short, we are still friends till today, and we are even closer, and we get closer every single day. And, and I'm just grateful that she was able to open up and talk about it. And, my message tonight is just, for us to create that opportunity to give ourselves a second chance, to try to avoid that first impression judgment, because it's really bad. It's affecting us, and there's no other way around it unless we change our mindset. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've come to the end. I hope that you've heard something that was helpful to you. Please, I will appreciate if you share this video. It could be helpful for someone. Your feedbacks are always appreciated. Once again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for all your support, for all your feedback, all your comments. They mean so much to me. And above all, I hope you guys have, I don't know what time of the day is. Could be 10, 11 p.m. I wish you guys all a good night, and I hope to see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.